When it comes to cards, he hasn't got the facts. So settle on down for some. What we got here then? Packs and chats.
Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm Packs and Chats, and today we have the new Spiderman set. Play Booster. There's been a lot of controversy around this set, and some of it's very valid, and some of it's very interesting. Today we're going to be seeing, how good is this set? Is it worth the time? Is it as bad as everyone says? So let's get into it. So, just like before, some things to remember. Do whatever a spider can. I like the reference. Your friendly neighbourhood Spider-Man swings into Magic the Gathering, and not a moment too soon, gather web slingers from across the Spider-Verse and team up to take down the sinister foes that threaten the city. Keep your spider senses primed to spot borderless treatments like web slinger and panel cards that leap right off the page. Now, I've seen a lot of these panel cards and they do look pretty cool, but as always, I've gone in pretty blind about this set. I probably only know about one or two cards that are definitely good cards to be pulling in this set. Because I spoiled everyone a little bit too much last time, I think I'm going to be doing this in two parts. So, this is part one. That's a cool introduction, I will admit. I like the art of that Green Goblin. Nice. Again, some draft information. So, I'm going to split these into half, and then we'll start. So here we are, Lucky Pack 1. We'll say, I do like the aesthetic of the packs, they are nice. That's a great bit of artwork for Spider-Man there, with the panels and the background. But, enough about the pack itself. Let's get into the cards and actually see what we can pull. Now, obviously as a play booster, this is more around actually cards to play with. So, let's start having a look. So these are the tokens that you could probably be seeing a lot in this video. Spider tokens, 2-1 with reach. So that's pretty cool. So, let's go. Common Crook. Creature, human rogue villain. When this creature dies, create a treasure token. Nice. So, a little bit of an alternative to Greedy Freebooter. I wonder if that is just going to be Greedy Freebooter in MTG Arena. Not getting into the controversy. Sterigron, the Dinosaur Man. Or Stegrun, sorry. Legendary creature. Dinosaur villain. He has Menace and Dinosaur Formula. For 2 mana, discard this card. Until end of turn, target creature you control gets +3/+1 and becomes a dinosaur in addition to its other types. It is my intention to return the dinosaur to his rightful place as master of this earth. Now, I know a lot of people with dinosaur decks that probably would like that idea. Selfless Police Captain. Creature. This creature enters with a 1/1 counter on it. This creature leaves the battlefield. Put its 1/1 counter on target creature you control. Peter always disappears when Spider-Man's around. How very odd. Captain George Stacy. Yeah, it's because he is Spider-Man. Unstable Experiment. Nice. That's cool art. Some Spawn. References at the bottom. The solution's turning green, but why? What does it mean? Because it'll turn you into the Green Goblin, that's why. Target player draws a card, and then up to 1 target creature you control connives. So, there's 4 new mechanics in this set. Connives is one of them. It's a returning mechanic, I believe. So it's, you draw a card and discard a card, and if it's non-land, you put a 1/1 counter on that creature. With the other new mechanic, which I can't remember off the top of my head, cards can be played from the graveyard. So it goes hand in hand really nice with this set. Keep an eye out for that. There we go. Bagel and Schmear. Artifact food. Now, I actually do have a food artifact deck, but I don't think I'd run it in it. You can just use it as a normal food. Tap for 2 mana, gain 3 life, or you can sacrifice it with basic planes with white. Sacrifice this artifact, put a 1/1 counter on up to 1 target creature, draw a card, only activate as a sorcery. Meh, I think is the word I'd use there. Cool art though. Scorpion Sting. Target creature gets -3/-3 until end of turn. It's an instant for 2 mana. I'm going to kill you, bug. Yeah. Gallant Citizen. 2 mana. Green-white. When this creature enters, draw a card. It's a 1/1. Now, I'm loving the references at the bottom. But again, it's interesting what this card serves to do, but people cheer for that web menace. They should be cheering for my son. Give me pictures of Spider-Man. I'm not going to try and do my James Jonas Jensen, J. Jonas Jensen impression done too often in this video. I won't do that to everyone, but we'll see if I can help myself. Madam Web, Clairvoyant. Now, that was a classic film. Alright, that's enough. Legendary creature, Mutant Advisor. You may look at the top card of your library at any kind. Interesting in a blue set. You may cast spider spells, non-creature spells from the top of your library. Whenever you attack, you may mill a card. Okay, for 6 mana. Spider UK. For anyone wondering, I'm from the UK, so good to see Spider UK. Legendary creature, Web Slinging. So, that just means that you can return an attack creature you control to its owner's hand. At the beginning of your end step, if 2 or more creatures enter the battlefield under your control this turn, you draw a card and gain 2 life. It's quite decent. Hobgoblin, Mantled Marauder. Legendary creature again. Flying with haste. Whenever you discard a card, Hobgoblin gets +2/+0 until end of turn. Alrighty, let's see who's behind this mask this time. Kingsley, is that you? Spider-Man. I just did a whole impression. Thinking that it was the Hobgoblin, but it was Spider-Man talking. Classic blunder. Anyway, origin of Spider-Man. As the saga enters and after you draw a step. Oh yeah, sorry. It's just explaining what saga does. For anyone wondering, that means each turn you go through. And on the 3rd turn it kills itself. Create a 2/1 green spider creature token with reach. We've seen that token. Put a 1/1 counter on target creature control. It becomes a legendary spider hero in addition to its other types. Target creature you control gains double strike until end of turn. It's nice art. Let's see if we can... Yeah. That's nice. Could use a colour there. It's interesting. I like that. I think it has a place. Gwenom, Remorseless. Cool. That is feminized. Gwen Stacy, maybe? Legendary creature. So another legendary. Symbiote Spider Hero. I think that might be mythic. It's quite a red colour. Right. There we go. Yeah, it's probably mythic rare. Cool. Death Touch and Lifelink. Whenever Gwenom attacks, until end of turn, you may look at the top card of your library anytime, and you may play cards from the top of your library. If you cast a spell this way, pay life equal to its mana rather than play its mana cost. Pay its mana cost. Okay. Interesting. So we've got Iron Spider as our foil. That's cool. The red light's hitting that. The nice effect. So let's get that in the light. So it's a legendary artifact creature. Interesting. Now that would go in my food deck. Vigilance. Put a 1/1 counter on each artifact creature and or vehicle you control. Remove 2 1/1 counters from among artifacts you control. Draw a card. Now, yeah. I probably would run that in my artifact creature deck. It's nice. I think it's a rare. Is that a yellow? These colours are hard to tell, I'm going to be honest. There we go. It's sort of a yellow colour. So I'm guessing that's rare. And the previous one was mythic. And nice. And a foiled land. Okay, so that's Lucky Pack 1. Again, I don't know if any of those cards stood out as being good. I know a lot of them are legendary creatures, but I know in these Universes Beyond sets, when it highlights a creature, it tends to be legendary. But I like to see the Spider UK. That was cool. And I like the Gwenom as well. It's good to get a mythic on your first pack. A good sign. That's a cool food art. I might run that myself in my food deck just as an extra token. Nice. Okay, let's go. So we've got Taxi Driver. Okay. Might not get the reference, or it might just be the fact that taxi drivers often have to deal with Spider-Man jumping on the top of their cabs. I'm not sure. Creature, human pilot. Target creature gains haste until end of turn. 1 mana tap for a 3/1. I've got 2 speeds, buddy. Fast and off duty. Spectacular tactics. So we've got what looks like Miles, Spider-Man, and I'm sorry, I don't. Maybe Spider-Girl, I don't know. That's a reference that goes beyond my knowledge of Spider-Man's particular tactics. Instant. Choose one, put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. It gains hexproof until end of turn. Or destroy target creature with power 4 or greater. For 2 mana? I'm trying to think if that's cheaper than other cards. Similar, the fact that it's got hexproof or power 4 or greater removal. I'm going to say I think that's good because it's cheap for a white card to do that. Oscorp Research too. Now, I have seen this card get memed. It's 4 mana to summon, which is quite a lot of mana. Considering it's a 1/5, obviously it's a bit of a brick wall on the field early game, but that's still a lot of mana. And then for 7 mana, draw 2 cards. Now, I was thinking, could this just be synergized with a mana reduction deck? So, for example, you know, the fairies, etc., that reduce the cost. Oh no, actually, it'd have to be a creature card effect reduction. So there are cards that do it. Maybe there's something that we don't understand yet. I will say I like that little... There we go. Standing in the background, very cool. The art's definitely impressive, but I can see why people have been making fun of the names. News helicopter. Yeah, maybe that's one of the names people have been making fun of. I understand the reference. I understand that there are news helicopters probably often. But again, the art's so cool. I like these little things done in the horizon in the distance. It's great artwork, but let's see what it does. Does it justify its existence? Artifact creature. Again, that might be useful for my artifact creature deck. When this creature enters, create a 1/1 green white human citizen creature token. Okay, 3 mana. Creates 2 1/1s with flying. But the human creature token isn't flying. Not as good. Kapow. Okay, that's the first green we've seen. Again, great art. There we go. Yeah, that's what happens when you make illusions. Put a 1/1 counter on target creature control. It fights target creature an opponent controls. Okay, people are in danger. I don't have time for your games. They're supposed to be a little more high-pitched. He's young, isn't he, Spider-Man? Yeah, for 3 mana, I think I'd rather just have a bushwhack. In a Demon Gangsters. Okay. Now that's metal. That's cool. Human rogue villain. Discard a card. This creature gets +1 and gains menace until end of turn. Activates as a sorcery. Now remember, in this set, discarding cards is actually not a terrible thing to do. It's not a bad cost because of the ability to play the cards from the grave. In a Demons, even for a guy named Mr. Negative that's a bit on the nose, Spider-Man obviously winding up his opponents in every fight with his smart mouth. Electro's Bolt. Electro. Classic Electro as well, so he's got the star head. Classic Electro. Electro's Bolt deals 4 damage to target creature. For Mayhem, so this is Mayhem, you cast this card from your graveyard for 2 mana if you discarded it this turn. So, that's just demonstrated lots of cards that discard. So, for 2 mana, deal 4 damage to target creature. That's okay. I'm thinking like of a Braid, is that 2 mana for 3? But that gives you the option to destroy an artifact as well. So, Wild Pack Squad, 3 mana, creature, human mercenary. At the beginning of combat on your turn, up to 1 target creature gains first strike and vigilance until end of turn. Silver Sable doesn't accept second best. I don't get that reference. Sorry. Costume Closet. I like this. That's... Oh. I was going to say it looks like Blue Beetle, but obviously it's just a alt Spider-Man costume. And obviously Blue Beetle's DC. Anyway, this artifact enters with 2 1/1 counters on it. Move a 1/1 counter from this artifact onto target creature control. Activate only as a sorcery. When a modified creature... Now, a modified creature, as I've learned, is anything with a counter, enchantment, or an aura on it. Whenever a modified creature control leaves the battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on this artifact. That might be interesting in like a green-white counter deck. Secret Identity now. I've seen this. It's a reference to the old Magic card with the mask being split in 2, but it has a different effect. Choose one for 1 mana. Conceal. Until the end of turn, target creature control becomes a citizen with base power and toughness 1/1 and gains hexproof. Reveal. Until end of turn, target creature control becomes a hero with base power and toughness 3/4 and gains flying and vigilance. I would say that is a good card. I like that, considering it's 1 mana with 2 options to protect or do something a bit more aggressive on the board early game. Cool. Green Goblin, Revenant. There we go. Great. Once again, like the artwork on it. Can't fault the artwork ever with these cards, but Flying and Death Touch. Whenever Green Goblin attacks, discard a card, then draw a card for each card you've discarded this turn. Now, that's definitely strong with the mechanic of the Discord. Discord's on my mind. The discard and then play from the grave at reduced costs. The Green Goblin lives again! Green Goblin Harry Osborn losing his mind. That's one crazy family. Interdimensional Web Watch. 4 mana artifact. When it enters, exile the top 2 cards of your library. Until the end of your next turn, you may play those cards. Cool. Add 2 mana in any combination of colours. Spend this mana only to cast spells from exile. That's interesting. I think I like that. Rhino's Rampage. That's our foil. Sorcery, target creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn. If fights target creature an opponent controls, when excess damage is dealt to the creature an opponent controls this way, destroy up to 1 target non-creature artifact with mana value 3 or less. Spider-Man wasn't looking to fight, but that was all Rhino wanted. Nice. And a land enters tap, so not a particularly strong one. A black or red swamp or mountain. Okay. So pack 3. We're officially 20% of the way through. And we're probably about, 20 minutes in. Let's try and keep this to an hour. That's the plan for me. So, food. Nice. Doc Ock's Henchman. I like the colour schemes. Yeah, these are really like the classic costumes, which I really appreciate. I like that. Creature, human villain. It's got flash for 3 mana. Whenever this creature attacks, it connives. Draw a card, discard a card. If you discarded an online card, put a 1 counter. Yes, so don't be a hero, Gary. We don't get paid enough to scrap with Spider-Man. That's wise words from Gary. Well, Gary's friend. Hot dog card. Again, when this artifact enters, create a food token. Or add 1 mana of any colour. Okay. I might run this in so I've got a commander deck that's around food and artifacts. I might run this in that because it's 1 mana of any colour. And that's alright. It's got its place. Craven's Cats. This creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn for 3 mana. Activate only once each turn. This time the hunter shall get his prey with the aid of my 2 little pets. Craven the Hunter. As we can see him there in the background. Yeah. There's some balloons. Surprised there's not a giant house attached to them. Feminized cat. Creature, symbiote cat villain. I don't get the reference, but I love the character and I can guess where the character came from. It's a cat that got a venom symbiote on it. Death Touch. When this creature enters, mill 2 cards. Okay, 3 mana for a 2/3. Death Touch that mills. It's okay. I think might be a place for it. Steel Wrecking Ball. People always forget how strong Spider-Man actually can be. And you know what? He's looking kind of cold there. I'm not going to lie. I would not want to get hit by that. It's another artifact. A lot of artifacts in this set. Maybe good for that commander set of mine. When it enters, it deals 5 damage to target creature. For 2 mana, discard this card. Destroy target artifact. So it's okay. Meh. Thwip. Instant. Target creature gets +2/+2 and gains flying until end of turn. If it's a spider, you gain 2 life. That's really good. Especially if you're running a Spider-Man set. That's a lot of stuff for 1 mana. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe people are going, you idiot, Joel. It's not good. But anyway, target creature gets +2/+2 and gains flying until end of turn. If it's a spider, you gain 2 life. Yes, this is what Spider-Man's all about. Swinging through the sky, a New York sky, patrolling the city, every moment a chance to make a difference, to fight the good fight. Passenger ferry. Artifact vehicle. When this vehicle attacks, you may pay 1 mana. When you do, another target attacking creature can't block this turn. You can crew to it as well. Sand Island in peril. Give me an hour. Go Spider, Gwen Stacy. Daily Bugle building. See, that one makes sense. I don't think that's an iconic landmark. An iconic landmark in Spider-Man. Tap for 1 mana, or for 1 mana, tap 1 mana of any colour. Smear campaign. Tap for 1 mana. Target legendary creature gains menace until end of turn. Activate only as a sorcery. I kind of like it. I always think menace is a massively underrated mechanic anyway in Magic, but especially early game. Spidersman, Heroic Horde. Okay. I think I do know this reference, actually. It's a suit full of spiders. Spider-Man, why is your suit crawling? Web slinging for 6 mana. But you can pay it for 4. Okay, you can cast a spell for 4 if you also return attack creature to owner's hand. When Spidersman enters, if they were cast using web slinging, so that justifies the higher cost. I was a little confused. So what's the pro? You gain 3 life and create 2/2/1 green spider creature tokens with reach. I think those tokens seem decent. 2/1 with reach. You know, it's better than some 2/2 with nothing or 2/1s. It means you don't have to worry about flyers as much. The Spots portal. Now, if you've watched the new animated Spider-Man film with Miles Morales, you will know who the Spot is. And put target creature on the bottom of its owner's library. You lose 2 life unless you control a villain. You've been working too hard, Spider-Man. I think you deserve a little vacation somewhere you won't be so in the way. The Spot. So what's his name? Jonathan On. The Clone Saga. That's really nice art. Interesting. Don't get the reference, unfortunately. I don't know who that could be. When it enters, okay, Surveil 3. Okay. When you next cast a creature spell this turn, copy it, except the copy isn't legendary. Choose a card name. Whenever a creature with the chosen name deals combat damage to a player this turn, draw a card. Do you know what? It's expensive. That might be the thing that puts people off, but I quite like that. So I'm wondering, yeah, I think this must be a rare. It's a strange colour scheme. Anyway. Whenever a creature you control with mana value 5 or greater enters, you may attach this equipment to it. Interesting. A quick creature gets +4/+4. Oh, okay. That seems really good. A 1 mana. Neutral. Just the plain mana. It seems very strong. I'm wondering maybe like in green decks with like a rush with a lot of ramp and anyway, maybe a bit of an aggro deck. Amazing acrobatics. That's our foil. Choose one or both. Counter target spell for 3 mana. Tap 1 or 2 target creatures. I like the option. I think that gives it a little bit of uniqueness, and it's great to see Spider-Gwen bouncing around. Planes. Yeah, it's a nice planes. And there we go. This is the other side, the robot token artifact creature robot. Interesting. I will say I've got it's a little bit of a flex. I've got, when Spider-Gwen got her comic book series, it's been about 8 to 10 years ago now, I managed to get to the first ever Spider-Gwen. I think it's worth a little bit of money, that comic. It got an alt art on it. I can't remember. There's our token. Here we go. So again, just the art is so good. It's Miles. I wonder what the reference is. Brooklyn Visionary. I suppose he's an artist, isn't he? Yeah, I forgot about that. So it's probably his artwork. Spider-Man, Brooklyn Visionary. It's a legendary creature. Spider-Human hero. Web slinging, nice. So for 3 mana, so it's cheaper. When Spider-Man enters, search your library for a basic land card, put it in the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Okay. Not terrible. So it's got an inbuilt web slinging, which you could ping things off. We've seen Gallant Citizen. Risky research. So, Doc Ock doing some... Though others fear radiation, I alone am able to make it my servant. Okay. Give it 2 years and see how you're feeling then, Doc Ock. Surveil 2, then draw 2 cards. You lose 2 life. Okay. Don't think that's too great. for the mana cost. Subway train, 2 mana, auto vehicle. Yeah, I can see that as a bit of a stretch. I can see why people, When this vehicle enters, you may pay 1 mana. If you do, search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle. And crew 2. I suppose I always think of the scene in the original, the 2000 Spider-Man, where the Sandman fights Spider-Man in Spider-Man 3, and that's in the subway. That's quite iconic. Daily Bugle, reporters. Creature, human citizen. Okay. When this creature enters, choose 1 puff piece. Put a 1/1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures. Or investigative journalism. That's fun to say fast. Return target creature card with mana value 2 or less from your grave to your hand. Seems a bit expensive. Okay. Doc Ock, sinister scientist. Legendary creature. Oh, dropping all the cards. As long as there are 8 or more cards in your graveyard, Doc Ock has base power and toughness 8/8. Okay. For 5 mana. Is there another? Okay, as long as you control another villain, Doc Ock has hexproof. That's actually okay. I think I like that, actually. Mechanical Mobster. Don't get the reference. Artifact creature. When this creature enters, exile up to 1 target creature from a graveyard. Target creature you control connives. Yeah, draw a card, discard a card. 1/1 if it's not a land. Scout the city. It's a nice green. I like the artwork on that. 2 mana, choose 1. Look around. Mill 3 cards. You may put a permanent card from among them into your hand. You gain 3 life. Bring down, destroy target creature with flying. I'd rather poor patch formation, personally. Craven, Proud Predator. Yeah, I've seen this. This is kind of cool. I think he's a cool concept. Again, art's great. Vigilance. Thinking of villagers. Vigilance. Top of the food chain. Craven's power is equal to the greatest mana amongst permanents you control. Yeah. That's quite cool. I think if you use that in a green-red, maybe like a ramp, something with a lot of ramp. Ezekiel, I'm going to say Ezekiel. Sims, Spider Totem, legendary creature. Okay, so it's also a Spider-Man. Another reference, though, I do not get. Maybe cooler in the red light. Yeah, that was cooler. Reach. At the beginning of combat on your turn, target spider you control gets +2/+2 until the end of turn. For all his wealth and power, there is a fear deep inside Ezekiel that spurs him to train others. Okay, interesting. Sudden Strike. Destroy target attacking or blocking creature. 2 mana. Meh. Cool. Full art. Borderless, sorry. I'll just say full art because it looks pretty full. And it is a rare. Looks rare, looks slightly yellow. Very slightly yellow. Legendary creature. Spider human hero. Web slinging. Whenever you cast a creature spell, create a 1/1 and white human citizen creature token. For 5 mana, creatures you control get +2/2 and gain vigilance until end of turn. Okay. There's our foil and Crow Extra Arms. That's fun. Becoming the spider. Not Spider-Man, but Man-Spider. This spell costs 1 less to cast. If it targets a spider, target creature gets +4/+4 until end of turn. I created that potion to rob me of my spider powers. I wanted it to change me forever, but not like this. Not like this. Fair enough, Peter. I think that happens in, I remember is it the 90s animated show? I think that happens as one of the plot lines, and maybe that's referencing directly from a comic, but if it is, I don't know. Now, time for the next pack. I'm going to try shooting this video in just full HD this time because it's a bit of a nightmare, 4K, trying to render everything on the video editing, so hopefully it looks okay. I'll have to see once it's finished. Venom's Hunger. This spell costs 2 less if you cast if you control a villain. Destroy target creature, you gain 2 life. Sinner takes all. 5 mana. But that would be 3 mana to destroy target creature and gain 2 life. What's the one with the vampire over the grave? And then you have to sacrifice and you gain that power. I'd rather that, personally. A 1 mana red, Call Masked Meower. Lots of cats. Creature, Spider Cat Hero, haste. Discard a card, sacrifice this creature, draw a card. A 1/1 with haste. I'm sure it'd have a place somewhere. And I suppose with the discard mechanic, in this sort of set, it would be impactful. Beetle, Legacy Criminal. I don't know Beetle, fortunately. Legendary creature, Human Rogue. Okay, with flying, exile this card from your graveyard, put a 1/1 counter on target creature. It gains flying until the end of turn. Activate only as a sorcery. So let's try and learn a little more. Bored with her humdrum existence, Janice Lincoln sought the thrill of her father's life of crime. The colour scheme looks a little bit like Miles Morales' uncle's colour scheme, that purple. Wild Pack Squad. We've seen you. Mob Lookout. Okay. I don't know why they bother. I wouldn't bother being a mobster in a place where someone like Spiderman's just chilling. Creature, human rogue villain. When this creature enters, target creature you control connives. Okay. Interesting. 2 mana. Grow extra arms we've seen. Merciless Enforcers. Cool. Lifelink. For 4 mana, this creature deals 1 damage to each opponent. Montana. Fancy Dan. Ox. You guys are so brave to keep dressing like that. Oh, I did it again. Alright, it's Spider-Man talking. Montana, Fancy Dan, Ox, you guys are so brave to keep dressing like that. And I'm the one wearing spandex. Ooh, just made myself cringe a little bit there. Sorry. Okay, Romantic Rendezvous. Discard a card, then draw 2 cards. Again, cards like this are okay in this set. Legendary creature, Vulture, Scheming Scavenger. Just something. I like the perspective on that card, the art, but it's just not hitting for me. The colours are nice too with the green. It's just, anyway. He's got flying, and whenever he attacks, other villains you control gain flying until the end of the turn. That's interesting. But he is 6 mana. Aunt May. Oh, Aunt May. She is a legendary creature. See, this is how I imagine Aunt May, and again, I think I'm biased because of the 2000s Spider-Man, but I always imagine Aunt May with grey hair. I cooked your favourite breakfast, Beatty. Wheat cakes. Whenever another creature you control enters, you gain 1 life. If it's a spider, put a 1/1 counter on it. Okay. That's okay. For 1 mana, might be a very interesting commander. Rhino, Barreling Brute. For 5, 7 mana, legendary creature. Ooh, I wouldn't want that as my commander. Get knocked out once, I've got to be paying 9. Vigilance, Trample, and Haste. Whenever Rhino attacks, if you've cast a spell with mana 4 or greater this turn, draw a card. I'm Rhino, knock things down. That's what I do. That's who I am. You're more than that, Rhino. Hydro-Man, Fluid Felon. I like the alliteration there with the double Fs. Legendary creature, of course, and that's a rare. Interesting. Whenever you cast a blue spell, if Hydro-Man is a creature, he gains 1/1 until the end of the turn. At the beginning of your end step, untap Hydro-Man until your next turn, he becomes a land. Interesting. I like that. And we've got a Bagel and Schmear, but shiny this time. Nice. And a cool swamp. I will say the arts on these lands are lovely. I really like them. Each one is a web. Hopefully we get one of each, just for collector's reasons. It's just nice to have one of each. Oh, we've got a new token this time. We've got Human Citizen. Token creature. Spider X, Daring Dino. Legendary creature, Spider Dinosaur Hero. Yeah, I think this is one of the ones. I've never heard of Spider X. I know that there's lots of Spider-Man, but I'm sure that was an amazing one-off comic book that the fans enjoyed, but maybe I'm being ignorant. Sorry if I am. Reach and Trample, Ward 2, whenever... Yeah, okay. On Earth 66, there we go. That's the alternative timeline universe 66. Perturb. Okay. I suppose they don't have E's. Is it that dinosaurs can't pronounce E's? Learnt that with grr power comes grr stability. Yeah. Again, some of these are really making me cringe to read out loud. Spider Manifestation. Now, this I've seen, and it's got a vibe to it. Yeah. It's a nice card. I like it with the red lights there. Creature, Spider Avatar. Very menacing. Looks like it should have been in the murder of. Okay, reach. Add 1 red or green mana. Whenever you cast a spell with mana 4 or greater, untap this creature. That's interesting. I could see that having a place. Shock. We know shock. Mysterio's Phantasm. Creature. Illusion Villain. Flying Vigilance. Whenever this creature attacks, mill a card. Oh, I just hate mill. When I see mill, I'm either thinking I'm about to be milled, or they've got something that lets them put their entire graveyard into their hand, or resurrect stuff from their grave. So all mechanics I'm not a fan of. Sacrifice this land, search for your library for a basic card, then put it out to the tap. So it's just Evolving Wilds. Guy in the Chair, yes. Well, what is it that Guy in the Chair does? I thought that was maybe for context, it's Spider-Man's friend, who does a lot of the stuff behind the scenes, and maybe his nickname in the comics, I can't remember, is Guy in the Chair. So although on the surface it seems a bit flavourless, it's actually more of a Spider-Man reference. And do you know what? The Mary Janes, that's cool. I think that's Gwen Stacy's band, isn't it? Or maybe, yeah. And then we got, looks like maybe Miles. So maybe it's Miles' friend. Anyway, add 1 mana of any colour. For 2 mana, put a 1/1 counter on target creature, activate only as a sorcery. Heads up, Miles. Yeah, yes, it is Miles. There's a disturbance over on 5th you might want to check out. Shocker, Unshakable, legendary creature. During your turn, Shocker has first strike. His gauntlets. When Shocker enters, he does 2 damage to target creature and 2 damage to that creature's controller. 6 mana seems like a lot. Damage control crew. Okay, I find this one harder to justify than previous ones. When this creature enters, as in it's a bit silly, isn't it? When this creature enters, choose 1 repair, return target card with mana 4 or greater from your grave to your hand, or impound, exile target artifact or enchantment. We've got 2 out. Okay. Again, seems a bit expensive. Shriek, Troublemaker. Legendary creature, it's a mutant villain. Not all mutants are good. At the beginning of your first main phase, you may discard a card. When you do, target creature can't block this turn. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, Shriek deals 1 damage to that player. Exposure to the Dark Force dimension left Francis Barrison, craving chaos and carnage. Scarlet Spider, Ben Riley. Legendary creature. Web Slinging, so for 2 mana. Trample, sensational save. If Scarlet Spider was cast using Web Slinging, he enters with X 1/1 counters on him, where X is the mana value of the return creature. That's cool. I can see. Oh, we've got a mythic. That is a mythic. Nice. Gwen Stacy. Outside of costume. When Gwen Stacy enters, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card for as long as you control this creature. Transform Gwen Stacy, activate only as a sorcery. Spiders don't hold still, given any other choice. I have all the choices in the multiverse. So here's the exciting part. Hey, Ghost Spider. That's a nice art. That is a nice art. It's got Flying Vigilance Haste, 4/4. Whenever you play a land from exile or cast a spell from exile, put a 1/1 counter on Ghost Spider. Remove 2 counters from Ghost Spider, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. Interesting. I'd have to have a think about that. Wall Crawl. That's a nice foil. It's pretty. And when this enchantment enters, create a 2/1 green spider creature token. Nice. Spiders you control get 1/1 and can't be blocked by creatures with Defender. With the proportionate strength and stickiness of a spider, Spider-Man can scale skyscrapers with ease. Yeah, that's a great art. Yeah. That reminds me of, again, the 2000 Spider-Man, Spider-Man 1. The movie poster. That's what they use, is that like perspective of him climbing up the side of the building. Very cool. An island, treasure. Okay, cool. So I'd say we're getting through the packs now. Magic have some of the hardest to open packs I've ever opened. It's quite impressive. A copy. Look, they're doing the meme. If only there was 3. Cool. Wait a second. How can you be real Spider-Man? I'm the real Spider-Man. They did the meme. Venomized cat. Let's repeat. Thwip. Nice. That thwip is strong. I'll have to have a look at that again. Scene. Okay, we're getting a lot of repeats here. Wow. Okay, our first new one. Skyward Spider. Creature, Spider-Human Hero, Ward 2, and this creature is flying as long as it's modified. Yeah, so it has anything on it. For 2 mana, and it would be a 2 mana flying. Do you know what? 2 mana with Ward 2, and then with any counters on it has flying. That seems strong to me. Taxi Driver again, classic. Okay, oh, I think I might have just seen a borderless, that's cool. Prison Break, 5 mana, Swamp Black. Sorcery, return target creature from your graveyard to the battlefield with an additional 1/1 counter on it. Okay, to be fair, is it 1 more mana, more than something like Zombify? Mayhem for 4 mana. You can cast this from your grave for 4. If you discarded it this turn, timing rules still apply. Okay, so you can actually do it for 4 mana. And it gives a 1/1 counter. So technically, if you're running that mechanic, this would be a good replacement for something like Zombify. Web Warriors, cool. The borderless. When this creature enters, put a 1/1 counter on each other creature you control. For 5 mana. Nice. Look at all the Spider-Man. I keep thinking of the Vine with that girl that goes, look at all these chickens. But it's Spider-Man instead of chickens. There's so many of them. Flying Octobot. Flying, when the villain you control enters, put a 1/1 counter on this creature. This ability triggers only once each turn. It's Spider Sense, cool. Would have thought Spider Sense would have had a... Maybe they've got another reference to it, because that's kind of like Spider-Man's thing, right? Web Slinging. For 1 mana you could cast this. Counter target instant spell, sorcery spell, or triggered ability. That's not bad. Venomized Cat, bit of foil. And a mid-tapped land. Nice. So that was a fast pack. So I'm trying to discover, I'm trying to think. See, I've got my magic hat on. I'm trying to discover if I'm going to do a part 2 or just maybe do like a pack a day and do it in the shorts, because I think the shorts are a pretty cool way to actually get things out to people. I've had some fun interactions on there with my cringe clips, which I think I've got about 1,000 of for this video, so great. Starling, Aerial Ally. I'm sorry I don't know you, Starling. Legendary creature again, 5 mana flying. When Starling enters, another target creature control gains flying until end of turn. Yeah. Is this what it's like for people I swing around? I'm going to throw up. Spider-Man Miles Morales. Yeah, I wouldn't run that personally, but again, maybe there's a mechanic I'm not aware of. Nice. So these are all repeats. Scorpion Sting. I was going to say looked original, but we have seen Scorpion Sting. I will say there's been an excellent job done from the artist here, because in the previous video, I was looking at the same cards sometimes and going, oh, this is new. I'm remembering all of these. They're very distinctive. Spider-Man No More, from a very famous comic book cover of Peter giving up the mask. Enchanted creature is a citizen with base power and toughness 1/1. It has Defender and loses all other abilities. So obviously enchant an opponent with that. For 2 mana, not terrible. Sun Spider, Nimble Webber, legendary creature. During your turn, Sun Spider has flying. When Sun Spider enters, search your library for an or an equipment card, reveal it, put it in your hand, and then shuffle. For 4 mana, I think there's maybe I'd rather spend less mana and just do that with a spell instead of running 3/2. Raging Goblinoids. Okay. They look cool, and I mean, if I put that in the red, it's great having this red off-light, because you can create really metal. So it's like, oh yeah, that's cool. Yeah, goblins. Oh my god, that's so cool. It's the power of the, it's alright, it's not actually, okay, I'll stop. Creature, Goblin Berserker Villain. Haste, Mayhem 3, and again, you can cast it from the graveyard. Cool. For 5 mana though, I suppose it is a 5/4, so not terrible, but not the best. Pictures of... yeah. This is official currency in the world of Marvel. Spider-Man pictures are pictures of gold, essentially. When this artifact enters, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You can reveal up to 2 of them and put them into the bottom. Put them into your hand. Put the rest in the bottom of your library in a random order. Sacrifice this artifact, creates a treasure token. Do you know what? Actually, 3 mana. I would say that this is good. I like that. The fact it creates a treasure token as well is nice. I suppose you have to pay 1 mana for it, but yeah. Peter Parker's camera. This artifact enters with 3 film counters on it. Remove a film counter. Copy, target, activate, or trigger ability you control. You may choose new targets for the copy. Oh. I was going to say that seems really strong. That's got to be a rare or a mythic. Okay. Again, in my artifact deck, I'm thinking, okay. In my commander, I could do a lot with that. Remove a film counter. Copy a target activated or triggered ability you control. Is that permanent? See, the one thing I'm thinking about this is it's not saying till the end of the turn, so it's saying copy. So if it was, for example, when a creature enters, draw a card, is that permanently there? And then on the next turn, I can remove another film counter and copy another effect. Could I copy the same effect twice? So that when a creature enters, I could proc it 3 times? I don't know. Selfless Police Captain, but foil, and a forest in New York City. I think that's some of the key feedback that people were saying is it's just a bit strange to see the modern world, New York City, on Magic cards, and how with other universes beyond, there's more congruence with the themes and aesthetics, like Lord of the Rings. I mean, Lord of the Rings inspires D&D. D&D is an inspiration for Magic, like, you know, as in the creatures and the worlds and the aesthetics. It's all intertextual. Pumpkin Bombardment. Sorcery. As an additional cost to cast this spell, discard a card or pay 2. I'm not sure if I've seen this already. Pumpkin Department deals 3 damage to target creature. Happy Halloween, Spiderman. Green Goblin, Norman Osborn. Scout the city. Inner Demon Gangsters. Oh, we've had a topple. Romantic Rendezvous, we've seen. Daily Bugle Reporters. Doc Ock's Henchman. Still, I reckon that still gets me. Okay, cool. Tombstone. That's great. He's a great villain in Spider-Man. Career Criminal. Legendary creature. 3 mana. Interesting, but it's a 2/2. Villain spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. When he enters, return target villain card from your grave to your hand. Do you know what? If you had a villain deck. So yeah, Tombstone is intimidating, and then all of a sudden, oh wow, he's really intimidating. It's the power of the red light. Robotics Mastery. Enchantment to flash. Enchant creature. When this aura enters, create 2 colorless robot artifact creature tokens with flying. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2. It's okay, but for 5 mana, it's dear. Wraith, Vicious Vigilante. No, I don't know Wraith. So that's another reference going over my head. Double Strike, Fear Gas, Wraith can't be blocked. 1/1. 3 mana. Has Double Strike. Seems okay. Hey, that's cool. Carnage. Carnage used to be my favourite comic book character when I was like 10. Well, Venom and Carnage. I used to think it was the symbiotes were a very cool concept, as every 10-year-old boy probably did. Trample. When Carnage enters, return target creature with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Against this creature attacks each combat if able. Each combat. Okay. And when this creature deals combat damage to a player, sacrifice it. And Mayhem as well for 2 mana for cheaper. That's okay. So you might not want that as your commander, but you might want to draw that and play that for its Mayhem cost. When this equipment enters, if it was cast from your graveyard, attach it to target creature control. Equip creature gets +2 and has flying and haste. Equip and Mayhem. Okay. I would have liked to have seen that to be a lower mana cost, personally. And a foil taxi driver, by the way. Do you know what, actually? I'm going to give this card a bit more credit. Look at that. The green, the reds, the blues, the purple. It's got this nice movement blur. That is great art, but would I run it? I don't know. And then a Another mid. Okay, next up. And you always have to pull here to create this triangle and go from there. Honestly, that seems like the best way to open these packs. But maybe I'm wrong. Another human citizen. I should always check the back. See, I quite like this treasure. It's Doc Ox's arms grabbing all that money. Okay, nice. So, kapow. We've seen you. Swarm, being of bees. Now that rings a bell, the character does, but I don't remember it very well. Legendary creature, flash and flying for 3 mana. Mayhem. So, okay. So in theory, if you've milled this card, play it for 1 mana, it's a flying 2/2. I think it's okay. Spiderman Web Slinger. That looks like a very classic Spider-Man with his gym shoes coming after school. Web slinging for 1 mana. Yeah, you can return attack creature control to its owner's hand to play the card. Nothing like a little crime fighting before class. I feel like that should have flying or something. Angry Rabble. Okay. We hate you, Spider-Man. This, to be fair, it's a common cliche in Spider-Man that people hate Spider-Man when Jonas Jameson starts to do campaigns. Creature, human citizen, trample. Whenever you cast a spell with mana value 4 or greater, this creature does 1 damage to each opponent. For 6 mana, put 2 1/1 counters on this creature. Only activate as a sorcery. You're a menace and a croak, Spider-Man. Jameson was right. No, it's not true. Lurking lizards. There's nothing worse than a lurking lizard. Weird. I feel like it should be a swamp card and not a green. It's like it's in a sewer. Anyway, trample. Whenever you cast a spell with mana value 4 or greater, put a 1/1 counter on this creature. Serum Connors, what have you done to us? For 2 mana. Okay. Now that's cool. Eerie Gravestone. Look at that here. What does that say? Here, something. Is it Lies? It's probably Lies Spider-Man. I think that is just Spider-Man's black outfit, not Venom. When this artifact enters, draw a card, so 2 mana. So that's a bit like Pot Noodles from the Final Fantasy set. Sacrifice this artifact, mill 4 cards. You can put a creature card from among them into your hand. You've murdered a mask, but you haven't murdered a man. Peter Parker. Superior foes of Spider-Man, okay. They're not that superior if you're just a common. Or maybe an uncommon. Yeah, uncommon. Creature with trample, 3/3. Whenever you cast a spell with mana 4 or greater, you may exile the top card of your library. If you do, play that card. I feel like that should have a name because it's such a common effect. Exile a card and play it. Supportive parents. I mean, again, if I wasn't a Spider-Man fan, I'd have no context and I would laugh at this card, but I get it. It's a big part of the character and having his family there for him. But I would laugh at this if I didn't know Spider-Man. I'd be like, okay, nice. Supportive parents, lovely. Tap 2 untapped creatures you control, add 1 mana of any colour. Living Brain, Mechanical Marvel, legendary artifact creature. That's cool. At the beginning, oh, it's a villain. I thought it was a friendly robot. I guess I should have looked at the spinning fists of death. At the beginning of combat on your turn, target non-equipment artifact you control becomes an artifact creature with base power and toughness 3/3 until the end of turn. Untap it. Interesting. See, I would have had that, but what about my gingerbread man? Tough Cookie. I feel like I'd rather Tough Cookie there. Lizard Connor's Curse. Legendary creature. Trample. Oh, so that's our rare. Trample. Lizard formula. When Lizard Connor's Curse enters, up to 1 other target creature loses all abilities and becomes a green lizard creature base power and toughness 4/4. So it's a bit like, oh dear, what's that green card that turns target creature into a 4/4 beast? Oh, I can't remember. But it's a bit like a creature version of that. And to be honest, the cost is similar. So I'm going to say this is good. Interesting as a commander, if someone had a really difficult commander and you just wanted to, I don't know what happens to it. Does it turn into some? Actually, just rewind a little bit. If I did that to someone's commander, and I'm sorry, I am thinking about commander gameplays here. Target creature loses all abilities and becomes a green lizard with base. Yeah, it'd have to be removed from the field before you get the option to put it to the commander zone. That might be quite good. I think that would be quite troll, but in a fun way, in a not overly frustrating way. My friend recently built a commander deck, and we're all playing, obviously, like pod, casual pod, and decided to do a full toxic with that flying toxic proliferate card. And now we don't want to play with that person anymore. But pretty joking, Jake, if you can hear this. Web up. That's cool. When this enchantment enters, exile target non-land permanent opponent controls until this enchantment leaves the field. Okay, so pretty basic. 3 mana. Beetle, we know. Mechanical Mobster, we know. Professional Wrestler. Yeah, so this reminds me of Spider-Man 1. In fact, is that right? Yeah, that might be Spider-Man in his mask coming on. When this creature enters, create a treasure token. Okay? This creature can't be blocked by more than one creature. Interesting. 4 mana though. Venom, Evil Unleashed. I think this is decent. Death Touch, exile this card from your graveyard, put 2/1/1 counters and target creature against Death Touch until end of turn. Oh, that's okay. Looks cool with the red light again. 5 mana's a lot though. Spider-Gwen, Free Spirit, Reach. Spider-Gwen but red. I would have put Mountain with Spider-Gwen, but another Spider-Gwen becomes tapped. You may discard a card if you do draw a card. Okay. See, that's quite nice. That's good in this deck. Creature Bird, City Pigeon. City Bin Man. Okay. City Pigeon. I guess, okay. You've won me over a bit here, City Pigeon. You do have a donut. How did that happen? Also, why is it a whole donut? I feel like you wouldn't have a pigeon be able to be trapped in the Lilo. I don't know. Anyway, I'm overthinking this. I like the art. 1 mana, flying. When this creature leaves the battlefield, create a food token. Nice. Okay. 1 mana. Sandman's Quicksand. Hey, I was wondering if they did a Sandman card. And again, if you're wondering like how they're designed, they're doing this off the. Sorry, everyone just saw my finger. This is like the original, like the striped t-shirt that Sandman always wears in the comics. The original. Mayhem. 4 mana. All creatures get -2/2 until end of turn. If this spell's Mayhem cost was paid, creature opponent's control get -2/2 until end of turn instead. Oh, I see. So as opposed to all creatures, it's just opponent. Spider Bite, Web Warden. When Spider Bite enters, return up to 1 target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. 3 mana. That's fine. Flash Thompson, Spider Fan. That used to be a great thing that when Flash used to love Spider-Man, but obviously pick on Peter. And you'd be going like, but Flash, if you knew he was Spider-Man, you wouldn't bully him. Flash. When he enters, choose one or both. Heckle, tap target creature, or Hero Worshipper, untap target creature. 2 mana. It's okay. Personally, wouldn't make that my commander. Oh, okay. This is interesting. So, obviously, Death of Gwen Stacy. Big deal. Big part of Spider-Man's, in a lot of his stories. They've done a kind of a cartoonish art of Spider-Man here. And obviously they've got this very macabre. So this is a rare. It's kind of like macabre her falling because it doesn't catch her in time. I'm wondering, is this like trying to make the death, make it seem less serious? I don't know. I'm not sure. I feel like you could have made it maybe a little bit more serious. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Destroy target creature. Okay. All right. Death of Gwen Stacy. Destroy target creature. Okay. Each player may discard a card. Each player who doesn't loses 3 life. Exile any number of target players' graveyards. It's okay. Passenger Ferry. And yes, we got the island. I think everyone saw that earlier when I dropped it. And Spider Token. Nice, so we got blue. I think we got black, blue, and red so far. I would like to get a foil version of those lands. But maybe not a human citizen. Let's go. Pumpkin Bombardment, we know you. Amazing Acrobatics, we've got foil. Craven's Cats, we've got Venom's Hunger, we see. Spider Islanders. Oh, okay. It's pretty horror based. I like that. It's just, yeah, compared to the Death of Gwen Stacy, this seems a little bit more like metal. Give it the red, make it, it's a horror. The friendly spiders, it's a horror. Mayhem, you may cast this card from your grave for 2 mana. Okay. We've done it, Professor Warren. The glorious metamorphosis of Manhattan has begun. Spider Queen. Adriana Soria. Starling. Whoosh. Actually, I don't know. Whoosh. Kicker. 2 mana. You can pay this extra 2 mana for this spell. Return target non-land opponent to his owner's hand. If this spell was kicked, draw a card. Draw a card and return a spell back to hand for 4 mana total. Ugh. Artifact creature. Spider Robot Scout. Reach. When this creature enters, you may search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, then shuffle. Please be 1. No, it's 2 mana. Then shuffle and put that card on the top. Parker was a fool to waste his time on patrol. I'll have my Spider-Bot do it for me. Superior Spider-Man. For anyone wondering, that is, I believe, when Spider-Man has his body swapped with Otto. And no one realises. Okay, SP, piloted by Penny. So this seems more like the film Penny. With that, the mech robot. Legendary artifact creature, spider hero, vigilance, villagers. Vigilance, when SP/DR enters. So I don't really get, I'm guessing that's the name of the mech suit. Put a 1/1 counter on target creature. Whenever a modified creature control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. That's fine. Wisecrack. That's what Spider-Man's known for. I support your right to bear arms, Grizzly, but this is getting ridiculous. Target creature deals damage equal to its power to itself. If that creature is attacking, Wisecrack deals 2 damage to that creature's controller. Okay. Maybe Screaming Nemesis. Hey, Spider-Man Noir. See, I know Spider-Man Noir. That's very cool. Is that voiced by Nick Cage in the films? So yeah, let's have a look. So we've got these villains. There we go. Okay. Lizard. Okay, what do you do, Spider-Man Noir? Uncommon, so at least you've got crazy effects. I think it's just a nice full art. Menace. When a creature you control attacks alone, put a 1/1 counter on it. Then surveil X, where X is the number of counters on it. Interesting. I actually... That's okay. I think you could run that in some decks. Silk. Web Slinger. Okay. Web Slinging for 3 mana. Whenever you cast a creature spell, create a 1/1 and white citizen creature token. Creatures you control get +2/+2 if you pay 5 mana and gain vigilance at the end of the turn. Yeah. Scorpion Sting, but foil. Tapped land. Nice. Let's run our last 3 packs now. So there's been a few cards. I'm being ignorant and going in and just trying to guess what might be a better card or not. So there's been a few where I've gone, do you know what? That seems good. But it'd be interesting to know if you feel like, does a lot of this set feel like it's not worth it for you? If you're a big Spider-Man fan, do you feel like the set at least has some cool artwork? Because it does have good artwork. I think that can't be debated. It's just, I suppose, what platform you're looking at the artwork with. Web shooters, artifact equipment, a quick creature gets 1/1 and has reach. Whenever this creature attacks, tap target creature and opponent controls. 2 mana. I don't mind that. Well, I think that's okay, actually. Heroes Hangout, Gwen and Miles. Maybe in the second film reference, or obviously from the comic books as well, but they're upside for context. They are on the underside of a building, I think, and that's why the juice is falling out from above. Obviously in White Gwen's hair is like that too. So date night, exile the top 2 cards to your library, choose one of them. Until the end of your next turn, you can play that card. Patrol night, 1 or 2 target creatures gets +1 and gains first strike until the end of the turn. For 1 mana, that's okay. Spiderman India, legendary creature, web slinging for 3 mana. Okay, whenever you cast the creature spell, put a 1/1 counter on target creature control against flying to the end of the turn. That's what I do for my people. Peter Parker. I feel like this is very much like modern Spider-Man. Look, legendary creature. So this is mythic. Interesting. I wonder if this is good to match the mythic brand. When Peter Parker enters, create a 2/1 green spider creature token with reach for 2 mana. That's not bad. For 4 mana, transform Peter Parker. This batch of web fluid will just have to wait. Okay. Okay, into the Amazing Spider-Man. Looks like he's gained about 2 foot in height there. Vigilance, reach. Each legendary creature you cast that's 1 or more colours has web slinging. Okay. Seems okay. Maybe I need to think about that a bit more. I don't really... Nice, actually, we just got the other art, the red. I think we don't have that one. It means there's maybe just one more to go. So last 2 packs now. Really getting through them here. Personally, I think if I was imagining drafting this, I don't know if I'd have that much fun. I think there's definitely cards in this set that I've seen where I'm going like Whip. I was like, oh, I'd want to run that. That's 1 mana. It does a lot. There's other cards I'm like, that's really interesting. I even Hot Dog Cart I think is a cool card, but maybe the cohesiveness, and I understand that there's obviously the discard mechanics and then the play from the grade mechanics and then getting things to resummon. But I'm not too convinced if I would enjoy it as draft. So maybe if you manage your expectations of it. But like, yes, we know that. We know you. We know you. Venom, Evil Unleashed. Electro's Bolt. The pigeons. Whoosh. Molten Man. Inferno Incarnate. Don't know this reference either. Legendary creature. When Molten Man enters, search your library for a basic mounting card. Put it on the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. Nice. Okay, for 3 mana. Okay. I like that. For 3 mana, it's just normally when I do mountain, I don't like to go with too much land, but there are decks where that could fit in. Morbius. Oh, another classic film, Morbius. Another classic film. Yeah. Legendary creature. Okay. Flying, Vigilance, Lifelink. Exile this card from your grave. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put 1 of them into your hand and the rest onto the bottom of your library in any order. Nothing matters except the ravaging. Isn't it? Ravening. Ravening Thirst of Morbius. Ravening. I actually don't know that word. Sorry. A thirst which must be quenched. Sudden Strike, I think. Parker luck, yes. As we know, Peter's got some terrible luck. Nothing ever goes right for him. Yeah, and this is a rare. Cool. At the beginning of your end step, 2 target players reveal each top card of the library. They lose life equal to the mana value of the card revealed by the other player. Then they each put the card they revealed into the hand. Okay. That sounds like a fun mechanic. And there are some decks where I can imagine running that. Nice. So this is the last pack now, guys. Sometimes it's packs and or chats. No, it's packs and chats. So you have to deal with my chatting. In fact, I needed some food tokens, so I'm glad I've done this today. So let's see if we can get... I would like another borderless. I think that'd be nice to finish on. Spiderbot. Rex. Common Crook. I think we've definitely seen Common Crook before, but because it feels a little different, as in I don't remember it. When this creature dies, create a treasure. Yes, we have. Greedy Freebooter. That was my comparison. Spider-Gwen, Free Spirit, Unstable Experiment. Selfless Police Captain. Mob Blockade. Grow Extra Arms. I will say this feels a lot more repetitive. I think it's... I know that they expanded the set, but I feel like with Edge of Eternities, it was maybe like 10 packs before I started having any like repeats. Enchantment. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 and has menace and is a symbiote in addition to its other types. You may cast this card from your graveyard by discarding a card in addition to paying its other costs. Okay. I think with that modified mechanic, this looks cool. Spider Slayer, Hatred. Hatred Hound. Whenever Spider Slayer deals damage to a spider, destroy that creature. Exile this card from your graveyard. Create 2 tapped colourless robot artifact creature tokens with flying. Okay. For 6 mana. Don't think that's happening. 2/1 for 2 mana. Prowler, that's it. Prowler. That was the reference I was trying to make. I wonder if the card earlier that had the purple scheme, was it Beetle or something like that? I wonder if that's Prowler's daughter. I don't know. Menace. This creature can't be blocked except by, when another villain you control enters, Prowler connives. Okay. Nothing personal, kid. It's just money. That's what they all say. Lady Octopus. Inspired Inventor. That is a rare. Nice. Whenever you draw your first or second card each turn, put an ingenuity counter on Lady Octopus. You may cast an artifact spell from your hand with mana value less than or equal to the number of ingenuity counters on Lady Octopus without paying its mana cost. That's interesting, and I do like that. A foil vulture. And I actually think that might have been the 4th. Okay, so what did you think, guys? Was that interesting? Did you think the cards... The only thing that I thought when I was opening these packs was that would be interesting in that deck. They all seem like cards that you might take away and run in other decks, but as I mentioned before, at the moment I'm not feeling like I want to, make a deck out of these, and I think that's kind of maybe reflecting a lot of people have been saying with the way that the set's been expanded. So I'd love to hear what you think, and if any cards actually made you go, that looks good, I'd like to hear. Thanks for watching. This has been Packs and Chats, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
When it comes to cards, he hasn't got the facts. So settle on down for some. What we got here then? Packs and Chats.